it's good that he managed to get that win. It looks like both these players are ready to go.
Yeah, we're going to go straight into this game. Those two games were very short. We're going to skip the commercial break for this one and go straight in to Game 3.
A fast first two games, for sure.
Very
Third
fast.
map could potentially be another fast game as well here, being a very small two-player map.
Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you Evil Genius's IdrA. He's in the blue trunks playing Zerg to the southwest of the Zelnaga Caverns versus his opponent Dignitas SeleCT. He is in the red trunks playing Terran to the northeast.
Two barracks play from SeleCT wouldn't be uncommon here. It's very good, especially because of the way you can use that little hole outside the natural of a Zerg player to micro Marines around, and especially because the two natural rush distances is relatively small, so that's something SeleCT might want to do. On the other hand, IdrA may not even go hatchery first here because of that fact, because it is so small. He may opt to go gas spawning pool or even spawning pool first. We'll have to see. And so far, we have not seen any SCVs running out to go hide a barracks anywhere, but that is only so far in the game.
Yeah, I have to wonder if SeleCT will just play safe, knowing that he has a bit of an edge on this map, both mentally and in terms of the way that it tends to play out. So it's not really perhaps worth risking anything crazy. Just play it straight up, win a straight up matchup, and take the map. I'm not even going to say in honest fashion, but in really standard and safe fashion.
And the reason why this map is so Terran favored over Zerg is literally because it's extremely hard for a Zerg player to find a third base. It's very easy for a Terran to take two bases. Obviously, the natural, extremely easy to take. And with the golden rule being you need to be one base over your opponent, where does IdrA take a gold base, or take any base? The gold base is pushing towards the Terran player, and that back right base is so far away, you got to kill the rocks as well. And it's very easy for SeleCT to start harassing that third base, really easy.
Yeah, it is. It's fairly obvious in that regard. And you've also got this giant chasm in the middle, which used to be the place where 1-1-1 happened all the time, and siege tank deployment around there. And even in this area, when you're actually pressuring your opponent, you can put siege tanks behind that. They're very difficult to access, and they're able to rain down terror on top of any kind of Zerg army. A little bit of what looks like fake bunker pressure there. Don't actually have any Marines streaming across the map for that one. Just being put up there to say, hey, I'm here, and I might pressure you, so try and overreact. But IdrA's too cool and calm to react to that. I don't think that's going to work out in SeleCT's favor, but it doesn't really matter. It's a nice and easy cancel on that bunker there.
And a scouting drone is going to just scrape past the Marine in the center of the map. And we'll see absolutely nothing, which is not good for IdrA, to be honest, because, actually does manage SeleCT messing up a little bit, reveals the factory right next to the barracks. So IdrA already knows what he's going up against. He's going up against reactor Hellion openings here. Thing is, with SeleCT, is he going to play it a lot more safer, like mentioned? Is he going to get a command center pretty much straight away? Or is he going to be going for like a two-factory reactor play and a lot of Hellions out? We'll have to see what he does decide to do. His minerals are crawling high, so I suspect he will expand from here. Meanwhile, we already have IdrA with 4 links just moving around the map, going to take that map control to make sure he can see what is coming.
Yeah, happy to see SeleCT playing nice and safe here and not going for any kind of really hyper-aggressive build. He's done that now twice, and the first time, yeah, it worked out fine. Second time, it did not. On a map like this, there is no need. There really, really is not. It makes sense to play straight up. Zerglings making their way in, but SeleCT easily reacts to that, sealing off that wall. And the Zerglings did get information. They confirm that Reactor Hellion is what's coming. IdrA will have no doubt suspected that anyway.
Yeah, and on this map as well, another thing that isn't so good for Zerg is that the natural area is so big, and there's always that little back pathway as well where Hellions can come through, forcing IdrA to build 2 spine crawlers, and ideally you don't want to spend an extra 100 minerals on that. 100 minerals is 2 extra drones, which at this level of play is so important to have, and because of that, IdrA's taking relatively late gas as well, so that he can actually afford to get that extra spine.
Yep, and the purpose of these 2 Hellions, aside from just to poke in, is also to try and prevent some creep spread as well. That's one good way of making it extremely difficult in order to expand, and he gets out of there with 2 HP on that Hellion, so the creep not going along here for the time being makes it, of course, more difficult to see what's on the other side.
And we are going up to 6 Hellions so far. from Select. Usually you can stop at 2, 4, 6, or possibly 8. So far at 6, which means he's going to be able to deny creep really strongly. And especially if he decides to go for a Marine Hellion push, these Hellions are going to be vital to keep alive. He has to keep them alive. He cannot throw them away. And there is the starport going down really early here. He may want to switch that up with the factory soon and start producing medivac so he can do this Marine Hellion form of aggression.
Yep, and around the back Select goes. Where he stops, nobody knows. The creep has not been spread beyond these reeds here, so there's no real visibility.
He could go around the back of the mineral line right here. That Spine Core's not going to stop these going.
Oh,
and he
no.
This
could end up being really unpleasant right now. Depends how good the drone count is. There goes 3, and a 4th was roasted on that mineral line. He could get into the main. Oh, interception right here by IdrA. Looking to try and get a surround on it, but he doesn't have the angle. Bringing in 3 queens to try and clean these out. The Hellion count is actually at 7 right now. There's a few more that are not engaging here, but Select with a good bit of initial harassment.
Yeah, he actually manages to kill 4 drones there and also stopped a couple of lava injects in the main base. You can see that queen's actually built up to a lot of energy now, just lava injecting 10 energy excess right now on that queen. And that little maneuver really helped out Select a lot, really slowing IdrA down, getting him out of his repeated rhythm that we see IdrA and loves to perform within. And now we are having Stim about to finish up. One single medivac, doesn't have a second, will be constructed very, very shortly as he needs that 3rd refinery on the natural soon. But with these Hellions coming in again, Select is just on fire with this harassment.
Well, quite literally, and he's going to take out perhaps 3 creep tumors, maybe even 4 here. That one was so incredibly low. We've seen him use a trick before. Nicely done. Able to hit the queen as well. Really good angle there on that. Preventing that creep spread, extremely important. Try and keep the Zerg onto base and punish them as hard as you can and exploit the fact that the map is difficult to expand upon.
A little bit of a supply block for Select, slowing him down just that tad here. But we do have combat shields on the way, the engineering bay as well. We want to get that +1 immediate. IdrA with a little bit of a run by at the back here, going to check if there is anything there, a barracks, supply depots or engineering bay, and potentially could go in. He won't really be able to do anything now, but he could at a later stage. He is going to try, though, but Hellions are there. Yeah,
he's able to pick off 1, perhaps 2 SCVs. One saved there, just the 1. So not potentially the greatest investment there. He did get a little bit of information as to how many Hellions there are, and I think he saw the Marines as well. So that does help. He did not see the Medivac, so he's not 100% sure on that. IdrA's going to take this risky base down to the bottom, and that's an absolute pain at this point because that push is coming, and he has no ready access route.
Yeah, and he's gonna Select's hitting this really nice timing before the Spire comes out as well with the harassment too. And I think he's gonna be able to deal with this at the back of his base. Actually, he only has 2 Marines, so he could lose a few SCVs to this flank attack. But more importantly, IdrA could be in trouble versus this little push.
Yeah, not so little, honestly. Look at the number of medivacs there. Those Marines are going to be extremely durable. The combat shield is not finished yet. He goes in slightly too early there. I think he feels that it doesn't matter. Oh my, he's not getting through there anytime soon. Spine Crawler going down now, and now a big push into it, but here come the Banelings. Is he able to get the surround? He's got to back off. The Baneling detonation takes most of the Hellions out, and still more chasing them away. Select legendary Marine Micro coming into play. He saves all of them, but the Hellions are down, and still I've got to say IdrA looking pretty solid at the moment. Looking to try and grab a surround. Can he get it? He can't quite. Select pushing himself back. That's one of the medivacs taken out as well. Hellion support from the lower ground there. Nicely done, forcing IdrA back. However, there's still 3 queens, and this is really going backwards and forwards.
And he can lift up now, place down on the low ground, and start attacking this 3rd hatchery, which is the thing with this map. And there are reinforcements coming from the Zelnoa Tower. If this hatchery goes down, IdrA's economy in the mid-stage of the game is going to be horrible. He needs gas to keep up upgrades, to keep up the Mulus count, and of course the Baneling count, most importantly, and it is going to go down.
Yeah, there's no real doubt about that. IdrA knew that he couldn't respond to it. He has to sacrifice that. A siege tank coming into play just to make matters even worse, and Select with a really powerful push.
But 4 Banelings have been morphed at this north position now. If he manages to get into the mineral line, he could do so much damage. At the same time, though, he is losing this little army.
Oh, really nicely done there by IdrA. Great, fantastic engagement. The Lings on the ground, and those medivacs are going to be destroyed. Really great engagement. IdrA very, very patient, sacrificing that hatchery, not just barreling down, trying to save it, knowing that he can't pull that off. Really good play, and he is able to take his pound of flesh from that, and still these Banelings just hanging around at the back for the best possible moment.
Oh, they're going to go in, but there is a siege tank there that should be able to get a shot on. And is Select going to react? Oh,
oh, it's pretty good. It's a fair amount of damage there. He takes down at least a few. We can check it. He's killed 8 workers so far. An Overlord going down as well for IdrA. And Select able to at least get out of there with a few Marines.
Select's next timing push should be coming soon, in a roughly 1 minute's time, because he needs to capitalize on the fact that IdrA's third base will start to be up at that time once again. And it is on the left-hand side of this map over here now, taking the extractors immediately, knowing the importance of gas here, and in comes this attack. He's going to kill the rocks while expanding to the gold base, and then we are going to see him swing around the map, deciding on where to attack, depending on where and how much he knows about IdrA's economy. He doesn't know about this left-hand side base as of yet, though.
No, he does not. And IdrA's going to spot the timing of that expansion there, see if he can poke in, do a little bit of damage. The missile turret isn't actually up yet. It will go up just as that comes in on foot. Oh, wow, it didn't complete, but there are about 5,000 SCVs to finish it, so it's all good. But IdrA looking to try and poke in there and do a little bit of harassment. He's not finding any really great angles, though.
Yeah, and his Baneling count is so low because his gas is so low, and Select is going to fortify this middle position with a Planetary Fortress with a couple of turrets. That will be pretty much unbreakable. Lings are going down. Oh, no,
oh,
IdrA.
Wow. Eating 2 really big hits right there from the siege tanks. Going in to try and take one out, and a GG.
IdrA knows the importance of that gold base. Once that is fortified up with a Planetary Fortress and turrets, the amount of Marines that can just flood out through the barracks is just going to be too much, especially losing that third base so early on, and IdrA just wants to go to the next game.
Yeah, you can't really blame him for that one, honestly. Zelnaga Caverns and the way that Select played, which was extremely good, it did put IdrA in what I'd call an almost untenable position. IdrA believes that as well. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we'll be going into the next game of this series, with Select currently in the lead, 2-1, and this is, of course, a best of 7. Don't go anywhere.